Today and welcome back to Weekend Edition. This is Rehash, where we recap the big stories of the past week, and I must say this was the biggest, most trending story everywhere on social media. Nick?
Trending for quite some time, Crystal, in a trial that was spanned over the last month and lasted 17 days and took about 2.5 days for the jury to deliberate, and they came back with that verdict: guilty for negligent homicide, for aggravated assault in the third degree, and it's the special allegations to each of those charges that's getting Torre at least a maximum of 28 years in prison. So now, next up, his sentencing date is set for June 21st, and we'll wait to see what happens from there.
Now, there were a lot of mixed reviews on social media.
And the hashtags justice for Bird and actually justice for Mark as well. Issa, what were you doing?
Okay, well, this week I covered the John Fernandez, his possible reinstatement, so he's continuing his negotiations. And then just on Friday, the Attorney General's office actually filed a motion in federal court to dismiss the claims he made in his $7 million lawsuit. They said basically, okay, he said that his amendment rights were violated because they terminated him without due process, but he was never actually fired and he was just reinstated. So they basically said that doesn't apply. And also, something interesting was that they said the board had tarnished his reputation by releasing the documents and the bill of particulars, but the motion basically says that the board never publicly released those documents. It was just leaked to the media. So we'll see how that goes next week.
And when he returns.
And myself, I followed up on a homicide last week. That was in Mangilao. If you remember, a man was found unconscious on the side of the road. He was discovered by a jogger. 2 men were actually apprehended. They're being held on $250,000 cash bail. I believe their last names again are Sally and Cimarron. It was really, really graphic, really sad actually what the court documents had to say about what happened. The only reason why police were able to find the suspects was because they ended up crashing the victim's car up north, and they traced it from there. And it sounds like the suspects asked the victim for a ride home, and that's when they allegedly conspired to beat him up and steal his car. And so we'll have more on that in the weeks to come. They're going to have to plead to answer to those charges. And on a lighter note, we'll end with Jason.
All right. Well, if I can dovetail to back what Nick was talking about, Nick, most people will never experience what it's like to be in the atrium court right after a verdict has come out, and just to see all the people there, the family members, people from the community that were concerned and wanted to be there to experience that. We took people into the court, basically, because we have 360-degree video. You can see that right now. We've got an immersive video so people can see all the levels of court. And, the one thing that we haven't told people is there were about 40 to 50 probation officers, marshals, completely decked out in security gear. They were providing an absolutely safe and secure environment. You will feel what it's like to be in the court, so we got that going on. Also, use the hashtag KUAM all around, because our Brittany Calvo has an immersive 360-degree view of Fort Soledad down at UMatic that is absolutely amazing. We did that presented by GVB, and she actually takes you down there, shows you some of the factoids about Fort Soledad, why it's so significant, and the history of the place. And then coming up later on this week, we've got another immersive video. We're taking you inside the Guam Museum, so no one is going to want to miss that.
Very cool, and they have the exhibit for Chamorro Month, so Biba Chamorro Month. And if you have any news tips for us here at the news team, email us at reporters@kuam.com.